about interest rates.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Pleb Underground. The signal without the slop, if I actually make it onto the stage. All right, guys. Yeah, sorry. I thought I was missing a video, but it turns out I wasn't missing a video. Yeah, let's go take a look at what we are going to dive into. We've got some Donald Trump hopium. That's right. If you sold your Bitcoin very recently, you may be wrong. Maybe wrong. This time may be different. I don't know. Anyways, we're going to talk more about this MSCI stuff that is attempting to put pressure on MicroStrategy and the other Bitcoin treasury companies, right? So we're going to take a look at that. Big news coming out of PNC Bank. Metaplanet is just, forget about the moon. They're going to Mercury and Mars. We're going to take a look at that. Jamie Dimon just saying the quiet part out loud. We are going to watch a clip of Jamie Dimon. And I got to tell you, watching the tyranny, it's like, it's just fascinating watching people like him not be able to hold themselves back from the epic amounts of control that they believe that they have over the financial system. It's all the more reason to stack Bitcoin. It really is. CFTC digital asset program. We are going to dive into that. That's right. More exposure for more people. Speaking of more exposure, Bitcoin after dark, right? Ever notice those weekend pumps? Well, guess what? Wall Street wants their piece of the action. Oh, what a surprise. The CBDCs. No, we're not getting CBDCs. Of course not, right? Politicians are putting forward legislation that says, hey, we don't want a CBDC. Got all these stablecoins, though. Did you know that Bitcoin or some other token are all basically the same? Yeah, we're gonna take a look at some cope around that. Guys, you know the deal. Before we dive into all that, we are gonna give a shout out to the Pleb Underground sponsor, Archimedes Emporium. And what I'm hearing is they're working on a new product. Right now, they've got the nice Bitcoin clock, but soon they're going to have this awesome board game that they're working on, Bitcoin related. We're going to see. Anyways, I'm going to be right back in about 20 seconds. We're going to dive in all the fun. Let's frickin' do it. Pleb Underground is sponsored by Archimedes Emporium. Discover the pinnacle of precision engineering, starting with their Bitcoin logo wall clock, meticulously machined in Maine from a solid block of aerospace-grade aluminum, ensuring unparalleled durability and performance. Experience the difference of a product made without compromise. Head on over to Archimedes Emporium. All right. Actually, I should try this one. Oh. Worse. Sorry, guys. Okay, so from Bitcoin News, if you sold your Bitcoin in the last 2 months, you misread the entire setup. That's right, guys. Let's hear what the Trumpster has to say.
A lot of Americans agree with you that they're too high. You're going to pick a new Fed chair soon. Is it a litmus test that the new chair lower interest rates immediately?
Yes. Well, this guy should too, but I think he's a combination of not a smart person and doesn't like Trump.
Yeah. You notice there was no hesitation, right? There was absolutely no hesitation whatsoever in Trump's response. So do we think that, Rourke, that's a good one, right? That is a good one. Waiting for a Bitcoin company named Hopium to IPO. Yep. I think they should. There'll probably be another one called Copium as well. So we'll probably end up seeing that too. But in terms of what's going on here, right? The new Fed chair has this loose affiliation with Coinbase. Does that really matter? No. I think it's much more. I think what matters a lot more is Kevin Hassett's personal incentives, right? And essentially where he sees his career going. That's as far as that goes. So, I mean, if that's what's going to be what does it for him to move to the next level, then quite possibly he's going to do it. I mean, look, if we think for a second that we've seen characters like him come into some degree of power and then make the right decision for citizens, I mean, we are living through poor decisions, the results of these poor decisions repeatedly over and over again. So I'm not too optimistic. However, I am optimistic that he is going to do exactly what he's told. For whatever reason, Jerome Powell, I guess, maybe it's because he's retiring. He just doesn't care. That could be it. That could be it. And maybe that's why he's not doing what he has to do. But for somebody who's itching to move ahead in their career, they're going to bend the knee. They're going to bend the knee. And they are going to tell themselves stories why they are not bending the knee. That's all there really is to it. Okay. Let's move on here, guys. So, I mean, this is kind of unsurprising. And in fairness, I think par for the course, right? Bitcoin for corporations, which is essentially funded partially by MicroStrategy. Anyways, has released the new presentation urging industry leaders, public companies, investors, and service providers to take action. The group is calling on MSCI to withdraw its 50% digital asset index exclusion rule. Now, of course, everybody who watches this channel knows that I am a critic of Bitcoin treasury companies as long as they don't have any real earnings. And yes, I don't consider share dilution because you hold Bitcoin earnings. I'm sorry, right? You're not going to convince me otherwise. However, I do believe that this is gatekeeping, right? I do believe that MSCI is gatekeeping under the guise of trying to do the right thing, but that's bullshit, right? That's complete bullshit. They're not doing this for anybody else. They're doing this because, in fairness, they're on another team, right? They're on another team, part of a different club, and that club doesn't want these guys here. What happens when these businesses start to become cash flow positive without diluting shareholders and without creating debt vehicles? What happens? Anyways, par for the course. Happy to see that this is happening because you know what? Why should only one side get to sit there and push their agenda, right? Why shouldn't the other people, why shouldn't the other groups of people come along and decide, you know what, I'm going to push my agenda and we're going to see which one can push the hardest and who wins. So yeah, good luck to you guys. I actually do hope that you get MSCI to bend the knee and back down. But yeah, you're doing the right thing. Absolutely, I think doing the right thing. Let's go take a look here. Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, Macho Squacho. Good morning. Morning, Bitcoin Shango. All right, super cycle. Nice. Okay, I'm down for the super cycle, bros. Like the super cycle stuff. It sounds fun. It makes me feel good. It gives me hope. Okay, so moving on. That's right, guys. That's right. As if we didn't do enough cheerleading for the rich people to come to the table and buy Bitcoin. Well, here we go. $400 billion PNC private bank partners with Coinbase to launch Bitcoin trading. First major U.S. bank to market with such an offering. But that's not really the point, right? The point is who are PNC's customers, right? That's the point. That's what we want to know. Anyways, first generation of PNC's new crypto for clients solution integrates Coinbase institutional grade CAAS infrastructure within the PNC private bank online platform. It's all just gates and moats. Through Portfolio View, eligible clients can now access crypto custody capabilities, to directly buy, hold, and sell Bitcoin with more than 100 offices serving high and ultra high net worth clients, right? Because that's their main customer base. PNC Private Bank is dedicated to serving high net worth and ultra high net worth individuals, families, family offices, and business owners. So I do consider that. I do consider that a bit of a win for us, right? Why not? Why not? It's not terrible. Of course, I'd much rather them actually holding Bitcoin and not just ETFs and stuff like that. From what I'm seeing here, it looks like you will be able to purchase Bitcoin. However, it is going to sit in their little gated kingdom. So not really much different, right? And it's going to be custodied by Coinbase. So more Bitcoin in the Coinbase honeypot, so to speak. Maybe. Right? Maybe. All right, here we go. A whole lot of stuff is happening in Abu Dhabi, right? Saylor's sitting down. He's talking to the bankers. He's talking to the hedge funds, right? Everybody's talking. They're making deals. Well, president of Metaplanet, that's right. They are sending Metaplanet to Mars and Mercury. Everybody's trying to outdo themselves, huh? Japan has only 4 listed preferred equities today, and Mars and Mercury aim to shake up that quiet market. Okay, calling it a quiet market. Let's see.
Prefs in Japan, incredibly sleepy market. It's a massive capital market, and why is there only 4 listed prefs is a big surprise. There has been one other company, ANA, the airline, that has announced their own pref. They'll be the 5th, but our goal is to be the 6th and the 7th with Mercury and Mars.
It's a race. It's a race to shore up funds. Because if you think for a second that these businesses, right, especially the ones that are tied heavily to Bitcoin influencers, right, like they know about the 4-year cycle, right? They know about all of these things, and they understand that if Bitcoin goes through these insane, if we do see the insane drawdowns we have seen in previous cycles, right, historically, well, you're going to need money. And you're going to need funding throughout that valley to sustain it till we get through to the next halving cycle. So, yep, no surprise. How many hotels do they have? I think they have like 2 hotels. The last time I saw that, they have like 2 hotels. I went to go take a look at what their actual operating earnings. Surprisingly, Metaplanet is not as in terrible of a situation in terms of what their obligations are. So yeah. Anyways, very interesting stuff. But look, no surprise here, right? These guys, it's a Bitcoin conference, and it's all about the Bitcoin for corporations. It's all about shilling those shares, right? They love Bitcoin, buy the shares. I say I love Bitcoin. Learn about Bitcoin, stack Bitcoin. It's really that easy. The rest of this stuff is all noise, all noise. All right, here we go. Now this is great. This is Jamie Dimon talking about debanking. Now let's just listen closely here.
Hand over the bank records of Devin Nunes or Trump supporters to the special counsel when he wanted that information?
People have to grow up here, okay, and stop making up things and stuff like that. So, and I can't talk about an individual account. We do not debank people's religious or political affiliations. We do debank them. They have religious and political affiliation. We debank people who are Democrats. We debank people who are Republicans. We've debanked different religious folks. Never was that for that reason. And that's number one. Number two is I don't like debanking people. We live under very strict rules and regulations and requirements. And to protect the country, and we have to report things to the government. We're required to report things to the government. I can't even tell you when we do it because I'm not going to tell you that either. And so I want to change these rules. I actually applaud the Trump administration who's trying to say the debanking's bad and we should change the rules. Well, damn it, I've been asking to change the rules now for 15 years. So change the rules. And, and that's why a lot of this stuff takes place. It is really customer unfriendly. And, we're debanking people because of suspected things or negative media or all these various things. So, and the last thing, which is really important, we don't give information to the government just because they ask. We're subpoenaed. We're required by court to give it to the government. And I've been following subpoenas with this administration, the last administration, the administration before that, and the one before that. And I don't agree with a lot of, the government does a lot of things that get angry at banks. So let's just take a deep breath and fix the problems, as opposed to like blame someone who's put in that position. So, and we've been quite clear about this. We've given recommendations to the government how they can fix it, how we can change the rules and regulations to dramatically reduce reporting and debanking and things like that.
I appreciate watching the play. I appreciate watching the show, right? The show of Jamie Dimon pretending that they're catering to the government's demands, right? Sure, I can appreciate that. I don't think I've ever heard him once argue about debanking. And I don't think I've ever seen a situation where JP Morgan has pushed back on debanking anyone. And again, right, that whole piece about the we don't debank them, for political affiliations. They just debank you no matter what, right? So it doesn't make a difference. And I can tell you from my own experience, okay, it wasn't the government that demanded that my accounts be frozen, okay? It wasn't. That was the bank that determines that, okay? And the subpoenas, this stuff, okay, just because regulation is put in place, it doesn't mean that they weren't going to do that already. Okay, all that simply means is, oh, okay, well, yeah, now we've got this box that's checked off. You see, you can't blame us. We had to do this. We had to check the box. It's not our fault. Just doing what we're told, like soldiers, right? Soldiers are just doing what they're told. It's a slippery slope. And this is why money, this is why the people that manage the money, the people that are in charge of the money, like it matters. It really matters. Because you can see, Jamie Dimon's perspective, right? It's just, hey, we run an exclusionary system, and if we don't want to end up with any problems, well, we're just going to play the game. And that's exactly what they're doing. Nothing is going to change, guys. We're like, I get that he just did the whole, like, yeah, I'm happy to see that Donald Trump is here, and like, we're going to change this and that. They are not. Banking doesn't all of a sudden become a non-exclusionary system, okay? Like that's not how this works. So, yeah, good times. Hey, that's a good one. The shipping tanker full of snow bricks. Yeah, that's right. He's becoming freaking Pinocchio over those guys. They're all freaking Pinocchios, these guys. It's hilarious. No insult to Pinocchio, though. It's a good story, right? It's a good moral story teaching us. Anyways, okay. So, yeah, good times. Let's go take a look, see what's going on here. Further on, yeah, no, we already took a look at this. All right, Caroline D. Pham, launching a digital asset pilot program for BTC, ETH, and USDC that will protect Americans under U.S. rules when you use CFTC brokers to keep your crypto safe. Yay, more trading. Lucky us, more trading. So, let's dive into this. What are they really talking about here? Launching a U.S. digital asset pilot program for tokenized collateral, including Bitcoin and Ether, in our derivatives markets that establishes clear guardrails to protect customer assets and provides enhanced CFTC monitoring and reporting. That right there, that's the signal. Enhanced CFTC monitoring and reporting. The whole protect customer assets, it's just garbage. That is just pure garbage. Let's see here. Providing regulatory clarity through tokenized collateral guidance for real world assets like U.S. Treasuries. That's interesting, right? So Caroline Pham, right? She gets it. She understands, right? That these products, right? Like a U.S. Treasury, that's a real world asset. I'm surprised. Why didn't she name any of those shit coins, right? That are quote unquote based on real world assets. Why didn't they name any of those? Well, anyways, guys, I mean, look, this is no surprise, right? We're seeing the regulatory moats. They're all tightening, right? They're putting in the fences, making sure that everybody is going to come play in this specific playground and follow these specific rules. There is no surprise here, right? And as if Wall Street doesn't already control enough, right? Well, they saw the price action in the evenings. They got to get their piece, right? Everybody's got to get their piece. Bitcoin after dark. New filing for an ETF that will only hold Bitcoin at night, buying it when the U.S. market closes and selling it when it opens. Not surprised. Totally not surprised. And here we go. Oh, here, let me be all the way at the top here. So here, you could see that this is the, I'm guessing this is the volatility, right? During intraday, after hours, and IBIT volatility. And take a look at what happens after hours, huh? Look at that. A whole lot going on there. A whole lot going on. And guess what? Wall Street wants to make sure that they're getting all the pie. Can't just have some of it. Need the whole damn thing. Why not? Why not, huh? Just a little more. Just a little more. Okay. Congressman Keith, who's that? Keith Seifs says lawmakers were promised the anti-CBDC language would be included in the must-pass National Defense Authorization Act, but it has now been left out. Oh my gosh. We are surprised. Let's see what he had to say.
Red lines in the NDAA bill. First of all, we were promised, conservatives were promised, that an anti-central bank digital currency language authored by Tom Emmer, the whip, would be in the NDAA. Our initial reading of it, we've had it for hours now, is that it is not in there. And then there is no anti-abortion language either. So as we fund our military, there are red lines that we need to put in here in the NDAA. So that's my initial thought for the few hours that we've had it.
It sounds like that's not getting done this year.
I would be very surprised if we do it in the near term, but we have to pass an NDAA because it's one of the must-pass bills we have in Congress. We've got to fix it and get it passed.
So look, again, you know, this is what I was saying before about watching the show. This is another example of the show. So do you think that we already don't have a CBDC just because it's not called a central bank digital currency, right? Like, do we really think that stable coins are not just CBDCs issued by private corporations? Anyone that's being honest with you has been telling you this from the start. Stable coins have always been the CBDCs. Okay? You just think of it more of like what is more acceptable, right? This what's easier to take the medicine down, right? Is it better if the medicine tastes like cherries and I think it's cherries, or is it better if it tastes like some gross super sour I don't know what? You know? You want it to go down easier, right? Makes the medicine go down easier. So hey, and again, I'm not pretending maybe it's a terrible analogy because stable coins are not medicine. But my point is that it makes it easier to accept something, right? When it seems more in favor or more in line with what it is that you're looking for. So, I mean, look, we already have a CBDC. It doesn't really make a difference what language is in the document, not in the document. It's giant nothing burgers. It really is. We're already getting that. The stable coins look, they're seeing they're and when I say they, I'm talking about bank CEOs. Okay, bank CEOs specifically. One of them I saw an interview. I believe it was with the I don't know if it was the SoftBank CEO. Anyways, one of them, not the SoftBank CEO, but another one that is local. And the first thing he said, which I showed on this show, right? The first thing he said is how excited he was to work with other banks in order to facilitate stable coins. Because it's always about their moat, their power, their control. That's always what it's about. Okay? Even when they tell you that, like, even when they tell you, like, oh no, we're doing the right thing for the customers, right? You hear the bank marketers telling you they're doing the right thing for the customers. No, it's not. No, it's not. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, castor oil is a tough one, man. That is kind of reminds me of tea tree oil. Also a very strong base. Yeah. Yeah. If the medicine tastes like freedom. But in this case, it's not, right? It's like they're giving you this cherry flavored garbage, right? It's like cherry flavored stablecoins. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Okay. Yeah, that's good times. All right, let's watch some more fail. We've got some more fail coming here. Let's do it. Oh yeah. Shout out to Bitcoin Isaiah. It's one of my favorite fellow pleb Bitcoiners. Here we go. Bitcoin or some other token. They're all basically the same. Skeptical as I am about MSTR sometimes, why are most strategy critics like Peter Boyle completely clueless when it comes to Bitcoin versus crypto? Well, for one thing, I believe he runs a fund. So he is not incentivized to understand Bitcoin in any way, shape, or form. What he is incentivized to do is FUD Bitcoin. So let's have a peek. Have a peek at what Peter said.
Infinite money glitch appears to be broken, and we may never truly know what went wrong. The way it was supposed to work is that you could take an irrelevant company, raise capital to buy Bitcoin or some other token, they're all basically the same, then tweet something quasi-religious about the future of money and put a lot of effort into creating AI memes. As good AI memes will definitely drive the token price up.
This guy appeals to people who think that they're intelligent. That's all there is to it. Plain and simple. People who have been convinced that they know what they know, right, are listening to that guy. And they think he totally makes sense. So you can clearly see the mistake he's making where he has totally meshed together Bitcoin and Bitcoin treasury companies. And again, I'm not saying that the Bitcoin treasury companies, yeah, this guy is totally not relevant. But that's why it's so funny, right? Like that's why it's so absolutely funny, because you go and watch this and you could see he is completely conflating Bitcoin and corporations. And he just can't get out of his own way. And so for me, it's like, what is he trying to sell again? Right? Like, what exactly is he trying to sell? Hold on a second. Let's hold on a second. Now I'm curious because I remember looking it up yesterday, and I'm pretty sure he runs some fund. Well, let's go take a look. What is it? Patrick. Doesn't take long to find him. Ah, yeah, founder of Palomar Capital. There you go. There you go. Right. So he wants to sit there, tell you how. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Blockchain, bro. I appreciate it. I've never actually seen this guy speak before. This was the first time I've been exposed to him. And I saw this on Isaiah's account. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, we got to make fun of this stupid shit. These guys. It's so sad. It really, really is. And I know it may seem like, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about. I mean, look, he's not wrong in terms of how things are being marketed in terms of Bitcoin treasury companies. However, he is conflating Bitcoin with what some Bitcoin treasury companies are doing. And what he's doing is he's also completely omitting all the businesses that have been stacking Bitcoin, have not turned it into a parlor trick, and continue to just simply do their business and hold Bitcoin. So, yeah. But hey, you hear what he says. you get confused and you say, uh-oh, I need to see what else he has to say. Well, then you go take a look at his profile and you're like, oh, Palomar Capital, let's see if I can invest through that. And there you go. Right? It's all engagement farming. It's all engagement farming. Anyways, guys, that is going to do it for today's episode of Pleb Underground. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Keep stacking. You guys know that this afternoon we're going to get the Fed meeting, right? We're going to find out about the cuts. A lot of people are expecting the 25 basis points. Some hopium for the 50 basis points. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to be paying attention to the Fed stuff. Even though we shouldn't care, unfortunately, we're all humans and we are all affected by this. Have a great rest of the day, guys. Catch you on the next one.